Michelle Pfeiffer, Rupert Grint. Small.
So I turned to JC Chazé.
Yeah.
And I say, well, screw it. Let's just get a shaved ice truck for the crew, you know? It's a hot day.
Yeah.
And they've been working really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, it's not clean.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you know how he is.
Yeah, he likes clear ice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he doesn't want any flavors or any syrups. And I said, well,
Yeah.
You know, that's just from a freezer. That's not
right.
That's not worth buying a truck for.
Uh-huh.
You know? And so, anyway, we wound up doing rock, paper, scissors.
Uh-huh.
He goes rock.
Yeah, of course.
I go paper.
Uh-huh.
About 20 minutes later, the crew's kissing my butt. Yeah, they loved it.
Hey, welcome to
Hi.
Hollywood Handbook, an insider's guide to kicking... Wait, just stop. To kicking butt and dropping names in the red carpet line back hallways of this industry we call showbiz.
What
so
up,
thank
what
you.
up?
It's just hard to do it while you guys are making noise. It's hard for me to say what I need to say. But you guys will figure it out as we
Even
as
my
we
what
go.
up didn't have space.
No.
Kind of what people want to hear.
Yeah. So maybe, just to introduce ourselves, you guys are here to see us, but maybe you're here as just, people who want to learn about podcasts and all that, or maybe you're here as just podcast fans and you don't watch a lot of, movies or TV or, read magazines or anything. Sean and I are, what would you, just, industry... the gods, the kings. Yeah, that's right.
The kings
yes,
of it.
That's right. Yeah.
The king of it all.
We have done some acting, done some writing.
I'm almost embarrassed
done
about
some
the acting we've
directing.
done.
What would they know
of us?
Us from?
Well, I don't know if I'm only thinking of this because I just said kings, but that whole Lord of the Rings thing was our idea.
Yes, that's right. And having kings in that.
And then King
was
Kong
us.
was kind of our thing.
I was the dog's boss on Job Dog. Some Job Dog fans here. That's nice. They're everywhere. I honestly
Yeah, you probably get recognized from that more than almost anything else you've done.
Yeah.
Cat Dog.
Uh-huh. Do you think you thought of that because of the dog thing also? I'm just so interested in hearing how you make these connections.
The process?
Yeah.
No, I had come in with Cat Dog loaded up and ready to go.
Okay.
Why? Did you say something about a dog?
Yeah, I said something about a dog. You didn't even hear that?
Didn't hear it. I was
that's amazing.
just sort of remembering the days on Cat Dog.
I was the main friend on Indiana Jones, which is when Mindy Kaling was Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was the mayor on The Office. The mean mayor who didn't want anyone to have any paper.
It's so... I guess they're piping in cheers for Aisha Tyler's show. That is so sad to me.
It's not a competition, For us, it's I hope we both do well.
And I don't want to know. I honestly don't want to know who she fucked with that decided to put us against her show, because I honestly think she's great and I think she deserves a bigger audience.
I would love for her to get some recognition today, and so for her to have apparently crossed someone very powerful.
Yeah.
Who then wanted to submarine her show by putting it right next to...
It's sad, yeah.
It hurts. And I asked them, change it, put us against nothing. Have us be our own thing. Mm-hmm. But, didn't. That's not how the cards got dealt out.
Podfest is not about the podcast anymore.
No,
that's what.
Unfortunately,
it's gotten extremely corporate. Yeah,
and it's corporate, and it's used to launch all the big movies.
Yeah,
And I remember when we first started.
71.
Whoa, I want to say one.
Yeah.
And we first started going to Podfest, and when it was just us with our little
Monterey pod
autograph book, mm-hmm. and we would, and our big thick glasses.
Yes,
and we'd go, "Excuse me."
Yeah, and
is
we
that
were
a real
hosting
microphone?
a very popular show at the time.
Yes, we
as
were.
well.
Yes, well, that was yes, of course.
But still wanting to know, yes, if it was a real microphone.
Yeah, is that a real microphone?
Yeah,
we're just trying to blend in.
Are those real chairs?
Yeah. Is that a wire?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah.
You know? Just pointing at everything, just so full of wonder back then.
Yeah. And now it's in this fancy hotel when it used to be in the ocean.
Yeah. You had to paddle out to a little tiny dinghy.
And paddle with your body, not like in a boat or anything. You would
No, not a
swim
boat,
out.
but you were allowed to have a piece of driftwood or something.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Those were the old days.
Yeah. Emmys.
Whoa, yeah, Emmys.
Podfest and Emmys is
Same
another
weekend. They're really asking for it.
scheduling thing. Yeah.
Because the Podfest parties now are slamming into the Emmy parties that are going to be tonight. And both crowds get pretty loose.
There's one upstairs. Movies Magazine is having a party tonight upstairs.
Cover to cover.
With a knights and princesses theme.
Mm-hmm. And then downstairs, Movies Books.
Yes. Which is ours. That's our magazine.
Yes. is going to have a party.
Yeah.
With like a Aladdin theme.
And people this was a problem last year. I think they've gotten away from they had cut holes in the floor so people could pretend that they were in both parties at once. But people were using them
to take upskirt shots.
Yeah. And to put the term "flory holes" was invented last year, which I personally don't think is funny.
A completely inappropriate flory holes.
But people would dangle themselves
through the floor/ceiling
and wait for hope a tall person,
tall guy. Paul Bunyan type.
Yeah, or someone with a soft broom, not too sharp, a broom could take care of them to completion, which is, in my opinion, the worst part of the whole process of the flory hole thing.
That's the worst part of sexuality for you. Is the completion.
Yes.
Well, it's unclean. I mean, J.C. Chazet will tell you himself that kind of thing is dirty.
I honestly wish it went in reverse and I could bring some dirty stuff back in. Yes.
Almost that your wiener's a vacuum.
Yes.
And you're sucking in anything that's unclean.
Just I can find some unsightly thing and just shoop it in.
Yeah. Well, good luck. I hope that you do figure that out.
What did we want to do? Oh, yes.
I don't know.
We were talking about how Podfest is bad.
Oh, yes.
Nobody likes it anymore. It used to be good, now it's bad. It needs to be replaced. Mm-hmm. And so why we're here, the sort of our intention for this show,
kind of a big announcement, actually,
is to announce our own podcast festival.
WolfCool Festival will be occurring the same weekend as Podfest from now on.
Yes.
For as long as Podfest exists, which won't be very long because WolfCool Fest is going to beat the pants off them.
Yes.
WolfCool, for anyone who doesn't know, that's a shingle. Earwolf gave us our own shingle, which is Calvin and Hobbes Productions, and then WolfCool is a subsidiary of Calvin and Hobbes Productions.
But it's a subsidiary. Some subsidiaries own the parent company, which is true in this case.
When they get strong
it's an
enough.
upside down umbrella.
Yeah, that's a good way to picture it.
The umbrella has arms and then kind of muscly arms, kind of reaching up,
pulling and squeezing in the top,
squeezing the top,
and being the stronger, more important piece,
choking it out, not so you're gonna
and being like you're only alive because I'm allowing
it. But just
it.
as it's kind of drifting off and sort of going just fading out, which the parent company actually gets a sexual satisfaction from.
Mm-hmm. So something has felt off to me the whole time, Hayes, about just doing this podcast.
I know. Yes, I know exactly what you're.
And they're not really getting the real podcast experience.
Yeah. Are you talking about your leg position?
No, that actually people are liking.
Oh, okay.
But
It's just very high up.
in the air?
Yes.
Yes. People are like, I wonder if it could go even higher. It can, but just wait, not yet.
Your knee is, just for people listening at home, his knee is at nose level.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But what I was referring to more was that don't people want to see this thing get engineered in some way?
That's right. It's not a podcast, without an engineer.
Yes.
Yeah. Brett?
Hey, Engineer Brett, you could have that mic.
Yeah, you can take that mic. I heard you kind of coming, anticipating that we were going to bring you out.
Yeah, you may have
and
wanted
that made
to wait.
me want to not go through with it. Do you see what I'm saying? It made me want to send you back. You're here now, and it's fine. It's actually not fine. Should he?
It doesn't feel
it still
right
feels weird.
on the same level.
I'm going to move your chair off the
that's
stage
gonna make more
onto
sense.
the floor.
What's this? What's happening?
Do you need help? Do you need help getting up? Do you need help standing
What's
up?
going on?
Do you want to sit down here?
So Hayes is talking not into a mic
Okay.
right now, but what he's doing is he's trying to help Brett, and Brett's being rude.
This is how you want it?
Yeah, but maybe you don't have that mic.
Is the mic weird? Yeah.
Is that strange?
Feels like we should have 1.5 mics each.
Mm-hmm.
And the engineer has 0 mics.
Yes.
Then. Do you need help
I
handing
thought
the
you
mic
wanted
to
me
us?
engineer this.
Do you need help? Well,
no, it'll be between
we each
us.
have 1.5 now. And now it's in stereo. But you're performing a useful purpose just by sitting there being warm.
Yeah, I think everyone feels better now.
It's good to know, yes, that the show is ready to be engineered at any time.
So I'm engineering.
Hang on, don't talk when you don't have a mic,
If
Brett.
needs must.
You need me to engineer?
If
No, but if we did...
If an engineering emergency comes up, it's comfortable to have you there. And now it has
okay.
never come up on any of our studio shows ever before,
No.
That's right.
the necessity of an engineer, but I've always assumed that were the situation to emerge, you would be very useful.
Engineers is... I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Just because
Yeah.
I've never needed it doesn't mean I don't want to always have it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense, Brett?
Like gum.
It's like gum, which of course I can't chew.
Yeah. Well, you can chew it once.
Yeah, one good chew. Mm-hmm. Then I spend the rest of the day getting it out of my teeth.
Yes. Getting it out of your teeth, which is out of your mouth. You have to...
I love George Washington so much that I installed wooden teeth in part of the back of my mouth. And
installed is... like, they're very loosely stuck on there with gum.
they need to get redone every now and then. Yes. Yeah, well, I had Hayes chew a bunch of gum, and I stuck the wooden teeth in with that into the gum space. This is a different kind of gum.
Yeah.
The kind your teeth live in. And the only problem is, when you do chew gum with wood, it just kind of wants to live in there forever.
Yeah. Should we announce our guest for...
No.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's bring our guest out.
We have a guest that's going to help us with our launch of... what's the name of our festival?
WolfCool Fest?
That's really good. John Gemberling is here. Come on out, John.
John.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Hi, everybody.
We have a little extra space now. which
Oh,
is
okay.
great,
Would
which
you?
I
Are
love.
you asking
And
me to
so-
move over
yeah, so
and
we
kind
can
of
all,
a not?
we can all spread out a little more.
Yes.
John, thank you so much for
I
coming.
still want to have my
Thank
leg
you.
up high.
So nice to have you. We were reminiscing about the old Podfest earlier. Do you remember?
Those early Podfests.
Yes, on the beach in the wet part of the beach.
I mean, honestly, I don't really listen to podcasts that much.
Right.
Right.
Really.
Yes.
There's no podcast for you, are there, John?
It just seems like it's a bunch of like white guys with USB microphones just
Yeah. I know.
fucking around.
Yeah.
I like
And
to
that's a
listen
bad
to like
thing?
NPR,
And-
like news. I like to be aware of
and-
like what's going on in the world. and
NPR is a bunch of black guys.
stuff. All right, touche.
But the ones hosted by non-white gentlemen, like Aisha's show, people are actively trying to sabotage at Podfest for like racial reasons, and I think that's really bad.
Because they scheduled this opposite it.
Yes,
Disturbing, no?
It is.
and I say that quietly. I don't want my
Does
positions on race to be-
Podfest have a diversity problem?
I mean,
That's the article.
yeah, isn't that an interesting take? And maybe we can try and fix that in the WolfCool Fest that we're launching with your help, I hope.
I absolutely think that we can. WolfCool Fest is going to be like everything that's awesome and then some. Don't you think so, Hayes?
Yes, I think it's going to be. I love how good it's going to be, and I'm fascinated with its smartness.
The smartness as well as the funniness.
Yes.
And how nice it is. And I think it'll be cool.
Yes.
So,
Can you define for me what a Podfest is? It's a bunch of podcasts happening in a hotel.
Well,
That's what a
it's an
Podfest
interesting
is?
question.
and
It's a
there's
very
dorks there.
Huh?
Yes, you forgot the dorks.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People got out of their cars. People shut off the Bluetooth and got out of their cars.
The thing- it's
came
a-
into a hotel to listen to podcasts.
Right. The people that are here
See it.
came on an electric bicycle.
Everybody here came on an
Yes.
electric bicycle?
Yes.
Now, what is that?
One
It's like one of those
electric
motorcycle
bicycle.
bicycles that they ride in South America, but it's electric?
Yeah, this one doesn't power itself, but it has an electric battery on the back that they are charging to use to power their house when they get home.
Oh, so pedaling the bicycle charges a battery that they then plug into their Tesla
shared
house battery.
shared home. Right?
That makes sense to me, and it's true.
And we were talking about the nicest new podcast festival.
Yes, and the one that really rocks.
Yes.
And I think that when you look at the way Podfest is done, is they get all these different podcasts and people who do podcasts.
It's weird.
Yes, and it's kind of like, well, the audience isn't going to want to see all that stuff.
Yeah.
They really would probably rather see kind of just me and Hayes and maybe John.
Doing other people's shows
Oh, there should still be a lot of shows.
betterly.
Yes.
So all different shows, but just us three doing all
That's
the shows.
interesting.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
wow, John.
That
That's
could
a
be
cool
really
idea.
good, John.
I like
Isn't that what you're
John's
saying?
idea.
Yeah.
That's what, but I'm just repeating what you guys just said.
Oh,
Oh,
speak on that
wow,
for me,
yes.
please.
Well, you said it would be a bunch of different podcasts, but with us.
And
I'm
see,
with
this
you
is
so
already
far.
good. And so, like this kind of thing, I think we should try and do more
Just
of.
clarifying and reiterating.
Yes, yes. Like, what are some things that we're going to have at WolfCool Fest?
Oh, gosh. Podcasts. We'll have, well, so John, for instance, I'd love for you to host one. I mean, you're known as something of a sexual deviant.
Now, how so? What is that? How's that come to
Just
light?
that sort of fringe sexuality things is a pet interest of yours.
Oh, you think those are normal things?
Well, you know, when you do anything long enough, it becomes sort of
The
commonplace.
mainstream, yeah.
Right.
So you
You would give
your
me an
idea
opportunity
is to do a specific sex act
Again, it's not my
for
idea.
such a
It's just-
long time that it just
Oh.
becomes like background noise to people that you are.
Well, if you find something you like, you do it a bunch. So you try something new one time. You go,
Yeah.
I like this. That's it for that.
Right. What's
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense, Hayes.
No.
But I like John's idea of doing it so many times that people have to deal with it. and And so, since you have that kind of interest, and there's probably other people who like those things, maybe you have a podcast about that, and you host it, and me and Hayes are the guests.
Sure. I mean, my concept of a podcast like that would just be a bunch of sort of grunting sounds and squishing noises and, just subtle little like...
How is that so loud?
Huh?
How do you make that noise so incredibly loudly? Wow. And then I guess you'd have guests who could then flee.
Or participate. I mean, you guys have heard my views on bestiality, right? Brett's heard them.
I was there.
You were
He was there
there
for the
I was
original.
there.
Where'd
I
you get
prompted
that?
them. I'm the engineer.
What are some of your views?
Well, it's purely a sort of a, rational view where I feel like people have an automatic, like, oh no response to bestiality.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of rhetoric out there about how it's, animal abuse. And some of it is, certainly. I mean, you can't have a human having sex with a small chicken or a fish or something without acknowledging that that's abusing the animal.
A small chicken.
Right. A large hen, I don't know that you'd have a problem. I mean, have you seen the thickness of an egg that they lay?
Yeah. No, I was just wondering why you took such pains to specify, and now I understand.
Yeah.
Or regular sized fish?
A regular... Yeah, I mean, something like, maybe a
Fish don't lay big
catfish
eggs
or
like that.
Yeah, fish lay many small eggs.
Little teeny. Caviar.
He's acting like he's acting like he understands, but I don't think he does.
Yes. He's got that look again. But
It's because of the water.
Yeah. So
Right,
you
the
think a big chicken, it's okay to do sex with it?
I think my stance on bestiality is very simple and elegant. It's not abuse in every case. That's it.
And what's the name of this show?
Yes, this could be a show.
This show would be called Muddy and Me.
Okay, great.
About a charming little mutt.
Oh,
And me.
Mutty.
Oh, you thought it was muddy?
Yeah.
That could work, but I don't see how it plays into the
I thought that
bestiality
was
thing.
I thought it was like a brown hen.
A brown hen named Muddy.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
mud hens.
Yeah, like a mud hen.
I didn't mean for this to become all like
Hen focused?
poultry related. Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's not.
Well, you could have fooled me. You brought it up right away. And then you doubled down on it immediately after. If you didn't mean for that, you have a really strange way of not making it about that.
And this is just a pilot episode too. We have all kinds of time.
Oh, you'll be
to
evaluating
do the whole
it.
kingdom. Yes.
And that's the kind of thing you might see at WolfCool Fest is like tune in for Muddy and Me. That's
Yes.
not going to be at Podfest,
No.
No way.
We would want to do one about movies.
Oh, we have to. Oh, have you guys seen movies? I almost like disliking them as much as I like liking them.
What do you think of that, John?
Discussions about movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Right.
it's valid.
I wonder if we could do Doug Loves Movies.
Yeah, instead of Doug, it's like Muddy or one of us.
Well,
Yeah.
Muddy can't talk. Muddy's got a ball gag in his mouth.
But do you think he loves movies?
Muddy loves movies.
Ooh.
Muddy loves movies.
Is there a game? Have you been on that show?
I was on one of his. I can't remember.
No,
what
I
it
think
was
I know
called.
which one it was. I mean, just judging from your hazy memory, it was probably getting dug with high.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
big problem with that show because
Nobody knows if they did it.
People ask, did you do that show? And they're like, I can't remember, man.
No, now that I remember, I've never been on any one of Doug Benson's.
Is weed funny? Can we do a show about weed?
Yeah.
Just talking about it, would that be funny?
Potentially, it's all in the specifics of the content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No premise in general is necessarily going to be funny.
Oh, I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree with that as well. Yeah, it's 2 against 1 there. You know he's talking about weed, right?
Mm-hmm. Imagine a big bong rip.
I mean, is that far enough away? Could it be like other drugs, like bath salts or...
Okay.
Muddy loves bath salts, or
Muddy loves bath salts. What might that sound like?
are you trying to transition into something? When you say the phrase, "What might that sound like?" Is that?
See, what you're saying...
Am I supposed to be cued to
You're-
start doing something?
You're in an episode of Muddy Loves Bath Salts now, and I don't think that's a good way for it to begin, is you asking what you're supposed to do.
But that's why we're doing this trial run at Podfest before
Right.
WolfCool
So I'm now
Fest.
trapped in a reality bubble where I'm in a new reality where I'm doing a podcast called Muddy Loves Bath Salts.
Yes.
And you guys are telling me that I'm doing it wrong because
Right.
from inside the bubble of this reality, I'm questioning.
Right, and to
The
us,
rules of
because
this
we're in it
reality.
too, we don't know about this universe out
Right.
here, and so there is no bubble to
It's
us.
like the
So
Berenstain
I
So
can
when you
see
say
the
something
fourth
like that,
wall,
I'm
but
like,
you-
a bubble? What are you talking about? This is just my normal world.
Right.
And so that was Muddy Loves Bath Salts. And that's another show that we could do.
Is that something you could engineer, Brett?
Brett, would you be able to even handle engineering something like that, or do we need to bring in a pro?
If there are mics and everything set up, I can come in and engineer it.
Well,
Who's
you
gonna-
just
who's
saw an
gonna do
episode.
that?
Yeah, who's going to set the mics up?
Well, that's what I do at Earwolf. I come and there's mics already.
So then
set
why
up and-
was you engineering this? You needed them to already be set up.
There's a massive hole in your story, which is you said the only thing you would need is to have mics set up, and then you said that's the only thing that you do.
I don't like to pile
guys-
on to these type of things, but I've done many podcasts over the years, and from what I can gather, the job of the engineer is to just put the microphones out on the table and then just press the space bar and start it recording. And then when it's over, I
You
think you
guys
just
don't-
press the
are you
space
guys
bar
Do
again.
you
Yes.
not even do the space
you guys-
bar?
It's command spacebar. It really is. You
Okay.
guys don't know what you're talking about.
What does spacebar do?
Well, spacebar stops it. So you just try.
You're supposed to be starting it.
Well, if you press, half of the game is not pressing spacebar once it starts.
So it's easier to stop it than it is to start. So you have to press command spacebar to start it, but then if you just brush the spacebar, you could accidentally stop recording.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got to reconfigure the
Guys,
hotkeys.
I think we found another WolfCool Fest show.
Yeah.
Engineer my engineering. And it's Brett, somebody like Brett, getting advice on how to engineer from a couple of pros who've never
Yeah.
done it, but who seem to know more about it than he does.
Yeah.
Brett, would you be able to listen to something like that?
Yeah, I'll be there.
And at the heart of
in.
a podcast like that, I think would be the nature of arrogance, the nature of like you're the engineer, so you think you know. You're sort of calcified in what you think that you know everything, but then it takes the simplicity of people who don't know what they're doing, like children, to open up the eyes of the.
Oh, maybe a baby teaches Brett how to engineer.
Yeah.
That's a
Like,
good idea.
That's a neat
John.
idea.
Yeah.
You feel that people take a lot of things for granted, huh, John?
I do.
Like they just assume, okay, having sex with animals is bad. And you're like, wait, have we even looked at this?
Yeah.
And they just assume, oh, I'm an engineer, so I know how to engineer. But it's like, wait, have you asked a baby what he would do?
Yeah.
I love that you're just like always like trying to find a new angle.
Well, to me, I think that's the nature of art and creativity, is questioning, our social norms and yeah, exactly what we take for granted.
I do just want to clarify, this baby that's teaching Brett how to engineer, it's a baby human, right? Because if you're going to be there... I don't want it to be an episode of Muddy and me.
I don't.
While we're doing,
I'm not going to
engineering.
muddy those waters.
Yes. Okay. Good.
No, I would think it would be a
very
baby
good.
human.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ideally, it would be baby versions of us, if that was possible somehow.
Yes, I think we could manage that.
Yes. Yeah, well, if we could make ourselves into babies, I feel like we're opening up WolfCool Fest to a whole other, maybe a whole other weekend where it's all the baby podcasts that we're going to make.
Yes, baby versions of adult podcasts. Yes. Mm-hmm. Like who's a person?
Oh, okay. I can't think of any just one. I can think of sets of two, like the Sklar brothers.
The Sklar brothers, that's good. Yeah.
Yes.
The babies with glasses are always very cute. People really enjoy that. Yeah.
So just to clarify the science, in some way we're transforming ourselves into babies.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would actually create baby versions of ourselves. Because what you're saying is impossible.
No.
But
I can't shrink myself down to be a baby, and also who would
I thought
then
we were
take
just
care of
blue
the baby.
skying at this point. Well, that was going to be my next question. Would the baby us's simply have the abilities and knowledge of babies, or do they retain some sort of adult abilities? For instance, how do they get to the hotel?
Right. Well, we could just make them here.
Yeah,
I
would
don't know
make them
why
in the
we would
bathroom
have to
or something.
Yeah, have to go all the way somewhere else. We
Right.
just do the baby version of ourselves here, so we don't have to just be going back and forth.
Yeah,
Between here and the
The
laboratory.
science
and the
room.
science room,
Yeah.
and we'll just make a science room here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to be made into a baby because I like being me, and I for the first time maybe really love myself.
Although I've often thought if I got to do high school again, I would crush it.
Oh gosh, yes. If I knew then what I know now, I would just absolutely be
I wouldn't-
tearing up babes.
Because I wouldn't give a shit.
But if you were
And
a
I
baby,
would talk to the kids. Excuse me, John. I would talk to the kids. I would talk to the kids who just like stand in the corner reading books. Those are the kids
what
I wish I
thought
talked to in high
What I
school.
thought was cool wasn't necessarily what was cool.
Yeah.
yeah, that was annoying about high school. You couldn't find a corner that didn't have a standing kid with a book in it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd want to go lean in a corner, and it was just filled with a kid.
You get very
reading a book.
tired.
And
Yeah.
they
You
had
have
the
to
most
lean against the
interesting
kid.
lives. Their interior lives must have been so interesting, those book guys.
Yeah.
In fact, I was one of them.
Yeah, I was one of them too. I would have talked to someone who was myself.
But the problem would be, obviously, I mean, are your parents,
Here? Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to ask?
where do they live if they're still alive?
Oh, what are you getting at?
Well, like, if you turned back into a baby right now, I don't
I'd
think
have to
you'd make
kill
it
my
to high
parents?
school. No, but there'd be nobody to raise you.
John,
Your
I don't know
friends
if I
aren't
wanna
gonna
do
raise
that.
you. I'm not saying you have to kill your parents.
Well, what I'm saying is I'd like to be friends with baby me.
Yeah.
So why don't we just make it out of something else? And then maybe I could help him through high school, too.
Help him crush it.
Oh, yeah, he would absolutely crush. Just pulverize the whole school.
So you would raise a baby version of yourself.
To take revenge on my old high school.
Beat up the school, yes. It sounded like you were asking a critical question related to Sean's living situation earlier.
And my
was
parents,
Was
yeah.
I reading into that wrong?
I was just thinking we're talking about two different things, obviously. We're talking about making a baby version of ourselves separate from ourselves, and then we're talking about my original idea, which I still like, which is us turning into babies ourselves.
And no one's
Right.
saying
Now,
you
I know this
can't
is
do
way off
that.
topic from what you guys wanted to talk about, but
I don't think so.
if you became a baby version of yourself, who would raise you? Would you survive till high school, or would you just die in a gutter on Beverly?
Sean lives with his dad.
Yeah, well, okay. So, not the most elegant transition, but I live with my dad in a sweet-ass basement condominium, not even really apartment. And he's not even all that strict all the time. So
And it has its own door.
It's got its own entrance,
which means it's a house.
It's got its own entrance. So I really have my own place essentially.
Yeah.
I don't have a TV.
It's not a door. It's a hutch.
Yeah, but I don't have a TV. Is that interesting to you, John?
That you don't have a TV?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you have Netflix and stuff?
Well,
Hulu?
sometimes I use my cousin Sam's computer.
Your cousin's Samsung computer?
No, I have a Samsung tablet. But my little cousin
watch
Sam
Netflix
has
on
a
that?
computer. On the tablet, it won't operate Flash. It says I need to
Netflix a
download
Flash?
Silverlight.
Silverlight's a Flash-based.
John, I'd have to get my cousin Sam here to answer this. But anyway.
What other podcasts do people enjoy?
Oh, yes. Does anyone here have a podcast they saw this weekend they really liked? No one.
Speaks volumes.
Oh, wow. WolfCool Fest is going to destroy this thing. And we get all the money. Hey, people sometimes do podcasts about how to manage your money, like Seth Godin. Maybe instead of Seth Godin, it's Seth Gemberling and Hayes Godin.
Seth Gemberling, yeah. You did Seth Godin's startup school, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
What might that sound like?
The school or the podcast?
He said what?
We're in it now. We're in the world
He
now.
said what might that
Okay,
sound like.
sorry. Weird way to start a podcast, I guess. By saying the school or the podcast. Well, no, I guess that's our new signature intro. The school or the podcast. That's how we start every episode of Seth Gemberling and Hayes
Yeah.
Davenport. Gordron.
Hey, my name's Hayes Davenport.
No, your last name? Godin.
Oh, that's good. You'll take his first name and I'll take his last name. That's good.
That's what he already
so,
said.
So I'll be Hayes Godin. That's good. I don't listen to other people when I'm trying to think of something to say that's good myself.
I can't tell which reality you're existing in.
Which reality? There's only this one.
I know.
Just the one, yeah.
Yeah. There's just this reality.
And we're on the show.
Sorry. Anyway.
How do I start up my business, Seth?
Well, you're going to want to decide if you want to, a sub S corporation or a C corp. You're talking about a flow through.
We send candy in the mail.
Well, I guess it's all how you want to structure your earnings.
The candy goes bad.
The mail is hot.
Yes.
This is what they don't tell you at the post office. That mail is very hot.
And I don't know if it's a hot truck or if it's just the
Yeah.
guy's hands.
Well, that's less
because
of
there's
a
no
money
box.
issue.
Yeah.
It's just a pile of candy with stamps
There's
on it.
a stamp on the. You have to
the
take
candy.
Yeah, you have to take the wrapping off.
Yeah.
And
then the stamp is directly on the chocolate.
To
you
save
make a
on
new
the
wrapping,
weight.
new wrapping made of stamps. Mm-hmm. And it's stamps.com stamps because they're a sponsor. So it's like a piece of computer paper printed out.
They're a sponsor for the candy company?
Well, for this show.
Yeah, for this show.
For my money managing show.
Yes.
Okay, sorry guys, I was unaware of the sponsor for my own show. I apologize.
It's cool, Seth. Don't beat yourself up.
Anyway, I guess I would, before I, established a corporate entity, I would try to solve the shipping problem you're running into.
Yeah.
Which I don't know a lot about.
Yeah.
I'm a financial expert.
Okay.
In this one reality. So I would say put the candy in a box, maybe leave the wrappers on.
That's not going to work for us.
Yeah. When we found it, the wrappers were not there.
Oh, so
Yeah.
this is just a one-time cache of found candy that you have.
Yeah.
And once you sell it all through the mail, or once it melts in the hands of a hot postman, you will no longer have
Shut
this
down the
company.
company.
Well,
yeah.
no,
Okay.
not
Shut
if
it
we
down.
sold enough that we have money for more.
We
or
could
if we
hire.
find more.
We could hire a candy finder.
Yeah, well, because I haven't been back to that tree since we found it, and for all I know, somebody's keeping more in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well this gets back into a sort of a financial thing. You know, you have to determine at what rate you find candy
Yeah.
in the tree.
It's one big time.
Yeah, one huge time, and I guess I have to prorate that over my 47 years on this planet.
In this universe. Sean.
Huh?
Sean is.
Huh? What are you
okay.
talking about?
So, okay, good. Sean is aging himself down a little bit for this.
It just makes more sense if
fun.
I'm just starting the candy business, you know? That I'm 47 and could still see it through.
So you would need to set a retail price for the candy commensurate with the rate at which you come across free candy, and then you could determine how long your business would be solvent for.
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
Kind of.
It's
What's
called
your favorite
It's called
candy?
Sean's Candy Mailbox, which has turned out to be a mistake because it's supposed to be their mailbox that has the candy in it.
Yeah.
But right now it's all in Sean's mailbox.
Yeah. Which also we can't get into all the time.
It's a P.O. box.
Yeah.
With a key.
In a manner of speaking. It's in the main part of my dad's house that I'm not always allowed to go into because he says I'm too noisy, stomping around.
So the storage place for the candy is the mailbox. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we named the company Sean's Candy Mailbox, it seemed like that's where the candy had to be contained.
Truth in advertising.
Yeah.
And this is prior to covering the melting chocolate with
Some of them
stamps.
are partly covered.
I don't know how I get out of this reality, or if I'm trapped in it forever, or I know you guys can't help me because you're only aware of this reality, but at this point I do feel like I'm trapped in a sub-reality.
You're done with it, huh? Like you seem pretty done with it.
I just don't.
It's really
I feel like I've given you.
it's really
the
just
best.
Plenty, yeah. And it's been hard work, you know.
It's
putting
just-
I don't
a
know
lot
if we
of
go
it
to
on
other
you.
like callers on this show. Are you guys calling in?
someone did call me a little earlier.
Oh yes, let's see.
It was Dad.
Oh, Dad. My dad calls Hayes.
You both call Sean's dad.
Dad. Yeah.
Yeah. He would prefer if Hayes was his son.
And not you.
It's yeah. But he doesn't have anything else to call him.
No.
Doesn't know his real name. At his request.
He's afraid I'll try to use his credit card or something.
Do you know his name?
His dad's real name, yeah. Sadly, it's Sean. Which gives you some idea of the intentions that he had for his son. That
You guys both run this candy company?
So that was Seth
Yeah.
Gemberling's startup school.
yeah.
And that one felt
It was
good.
hot
and
in that reality.
WolfCool
did get
Fest,
hot.
I feel like, is taking off. Yeah, it did get
Can
hot.
I just click? You guys both ran that candy company?
Yes, I was a host on the
You
show.
were a co-host and you ran that company.
and I ran the company, yeah.
Sean's Candy Mailbox.
Yes.
And I ran it, but I was more on the creative side of things.
This isn't sweat, by the way. This is saliva. So I'm not
Someone
sure.
was slurping on Hayes' titties
To
earlier
get ready
today.
for the show, I have my significant other, sort of, Carrie Ann and Moss, just sort
Trinity.
of at the ready backstage, to sort of get me all
Relaxed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Through the shirt.
Yes. Yes. It seeps through the shirt. Yes, and that's what you're.
So nobody saw any
That's what you're
podcast
seeing
they
here.
liked this whole weekend. What? Indoor kids. Oh,
Indoor
cool.
kids.
So we don't know
We
what
have
that
not
one
seen
is.
any of these or done whatever you do with them.
Haven't watched it or
Yeah.
read about
Had
it.
Had it?
Like spin it.
Yeah.
We don't do that, but I've seen the thumbnail on iTunes.
Yes.
And I think I have a good idea of what it is.
It's a video games.
It's a video games.
Yes. It's a video game.
And so, imagine if instead of whatever the indoor kids is doing, instead it's the indoor us.
Yeah.
And it's Hayes and Sean and Seth Gemberling.
I've retained my sub-reality identity. Is that
Was
correct?
that not
And
working
you're-
for
yeah.
everybody?
And you're a financial expert.
Okay. Okay.
So how might you look at the video games that we're
Yeah.
designing from your financial expert perspective?
Yeah.
You're designing them, or
Or
you're
we're
playing?
just playing them, or we're even just hanging out near them and talking about what kind of sodas we like.
I have a creeping sense that we're in the new reality.
No, he hasn't
now.
said what might that sound
Oh,
like.
that's right. That's right.
And Hayes just said it, and so and here we are on Indoor Us, and welcome back. We're with Seth Gemberling. And how many video games would you say is enough? At long last.
How many is enough? Well, as long as the market will bear from a financial standpoint. As long as people are willing to play them and interested in playing new ones, as long as the technology continues to improve, I think there'll be a market for it. So the industry could survive indefinitely.
And are they causing all these shootings?
The police shootings?
Any of them. Take your pick. There's certainly enough.
I don't know. I don't think they're causing them. I think they certainly could serve to exacerbate somebody already in a fragile mental state, somebody already considering.
So you think
Ooh, I
police?
disagree. Nobody take away my video games.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's more important that I get stoned and play this than that people don't get shot. I don't even want to listen to it. And now you tell me how I'm wrong.
Well, no, I don't think they should be. I don't think video games should be banned or censored. I think they,
Oh, good.
Your guy's a policeman as well, so
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Okay. Seth, from my time on the force,
Sergeant Seth Gemberling.
I only made it to sergeant. Okay. When I was a cop on the beat, I certainly saw plenty of kids.
Yeah. And you're Indian because it's like Kumail, and so you have to be doing like.
Excuse me?
Like Kumail hosts the other show because when he came on our show. Yeah.
The indoor guy's Kumail.
Yeah.
The indoor guys is
Yeah, the one
Kumail.
she likes.
Yeah. It's Kumail. And so your guy is policeman.
But
Yeah.
it would help if he's kind of Kumail, you know?
Yes, kind of Kumail.
I don't know. I mean, I was,
Whoa.
What?
What was that?
My family is from Pakistan, not India.
No, you should just
actually,
be talking
I
about.
was born in America. I'm just telling you about my background.
Such a broad
I'm a
idea. of
first
Kumail.
generation American Pakistani former police officer, financial expert. It always drives my mom and dad crazy that I don't have an accent.
And talk
you know?
about comic books.
Yeah, yes.
Talk about the comic books.
About the best one.
Just, which
The best
would
comic
Spider-Man
books?
win?
What?
Would he be able to beat everyone else? Isn't that the kind of thought experiments that makes podcasts great?
Honestly, I didn't have time to read a lot of comic books on the force.
Never even on a stakeout?
I know I wasn't. I was just a sergeant. Remember, I'm not a detective. I didn't go on any stakeouts. I
You
just
started at
patrol-
sergeant?
What?
You started at that rank?
No. I just never made it to detective.
Who's the champion? Spider-Man?
I guess in a competition of
Or the Beast.
The monster one.
Yeah.
well, they both have incredible agility, strength. Spider-Man can fire homemade web fluid.
Oh, that's right. That's interesting.
Ooh, yes, he would use that, I bet.
Yeah.
So he could probably tie Beast up, but Beast would break out of it, maybe. Maybe he snatches his glasses off his face with his... Because remember, Beast always wore glasses.
The Beast. Yes.
I'm just going to drag us out of that reality. I don't think that show was working.
You don't
At the
think it
end,
was?
The arguments didn't really make
I gotta say, it
sense
feels
to
like
me.
in these sub-realities, it feels like there's like less air in there or something.
Yeah. That it's hard.
It's like
it's hard.
hard to think.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Like,
Yeah.
Well, it's 1 year from now.
Suffocating. Yeah.
What?
It's 1 year from now, and if you read the science books, there is going to be about
So the sun-
3/4 as much air as today air.
And there will be less water, but also we'll be drowning.
Yeah,
I often think about that because I get a lot of like packages from Amazon and stuff.
yeah.
And they come
live
with that,
hens.
All right, come on.
Come on, Hayes. He's a guest.
Sorry.
I'm not. I haven't signed up for the the Amazon live hen subscription delivery service.
Is that a thing?
It's in its pilot phases. But I get a lot of, they have the like bubble wrap. They have the like, they used to have like the little bubble wrap used to be little bubbles. Now bubble wrap is like long things of like a big air-filled bubble, a bunch of them, right? Yeah, everybody knows what I'm talking about, right?
Clap.
Don't just clap if you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Don't be afraid to clap when he sets up a major applause break, like asking if you're familiar with bubble wrap.
So I always wonder, because I have kids and they play with it. So sometimes the bubble wrap lies around my house for a few days, and the air never seems to. They never seem to deflate really. So I wonder how much of our air we're locking up in bubble wrap. How much of our breathable air is sitting in a
using above
landfill
air.
locked in bubble wrap?
And who's got all the bubble wrap? Mr. Rich, right? Mm-hmm. On top of the hill.
Yep.
He's the one pumping.
He's buying
air
it
into-
all up, and while we're all sharing each other's breath, basically.
Word to the wise. Order a bunch of Amazon packages, get a emergency bucket with bubble wrap in it. When we start to run out of air, you stick a straw in there. And I think that's what John's saying.
Well, I think what Hayes, you're saying that Mr. Rich.
Mr. Rich, yes. The richest man.
Buying up all the bubble wrap
Yes.
to put in packages, or he's
No,
keeping
he's
it?
saving it so he can be the only one who can
Breathing.
breathe.
But John just saying he has it in his house. He just said that, Hayes.
Who said that?
John just said he has some in his house for days at a time.
Well, he has a little in his house, yes, but
Oh,
you don't
yes.
understand the amount that Mr. Rich has.
Oh, it's huge. It's
Yes.
the size of this room.
Yes, yes. The biggest thing there is,
Oh,
which would explain the percentage of fullness it has.
yes. We asked for the big room because of all the people. Okay.
Brett, were you gonna? Just,
Brett, what's up, man?
What am I doing here?
Oh,
I mean, is this a?
Well, it seems like this would be
Is
a
this a
good time for
podcast?
the Popcorn Gallery song.
yeah. Do you have your guitar?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay.
Want me to plug it in?
Oh, Jesus! It's not
Is
plugged
an
in.
engineer capable of such a feat of engineering?
Just watch. I wanted everyone to see how I engineered that.
And like a good engineer, he puts down the microphone before he finishes speaking.
Oh boy.
This is taking.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the area. Brett just gave me permission to talk about bubble wrap on my show, so I
Were we
guess that's what
talking
I'll
about
do.
a podcast idea?
Yeah, you wanted to do one about your kids.
I did?
Yeah, right?
Well, what might that look like? Hey, everybody. Welcome to the KidCast. This is Seth Gemberling.
I'm a kid version of Sean Clements.
And I'm a kid version of Thomas Middleditch.
Well, kids, what do you guys hope to accomplish when you grow up?
Silicon Valley.
I think I was in a commercial once or something.
Yeah, singular.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You'd like to do that again?
Yeah, I'd like to do that again.
So, young Thomas, you're hoping that in the future there's another show, Silicon Valley, that you could star in.
I'll do, yes. I hope so.
And I'm hoping that Singular becomes a company again so that I can do a commercial for it when I become an adult.
It went away. AT&T bought it.
Yeah.
The Singular's not around anymore?
No.
No. Oh, John.
Oh,
Seth.
Seth, I hate for you to find out this way.
Oh, no. Sweetie.
Seth, maybe do some of your cop stuff.
Oh,
wow.
Oh.
Opens with the guitar equivalent of a fart.
What am I doing here?
The
Well,
popcorn
you just
gallery
shattered
theme song?
the reality of the KidCast.
Oh, right. Yeah, the kid cast.
Do the KidCast. Do the KidCast theme song.
Put a mic in his face so he can sing.
Okay, now do the real kid cast theme song.
That's the... No. You're on the candy business.
Thank you.
Do the popcorn gallery one. Popcorn. Thank you, Brett. So this is the part of the KidCast where
We're the two child versions of future celebrities. Get questions from the audience for the host, Seth
but
Gemberling.
this time they're popcorn.
Who's our daddy?
They're
I think.
popcorn kernels, which are the babies of popcorn.
You're going to...
Do you?
And now
You're
you
gonna
say
have-
something.
Yeah. What do you? Do you get it?
Can you just say what you said again?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the part of KidCast where we get questions.
Yeah. And we're the two child versions of future mega celebrities. Collect questions from the audience to ask you, Seth Gemberling, the host, who also I believe is the daddy on the KidCast.
Yes. But the questions are popcorn?
Our popcorn
Oh, of
kernels.
course.
You'd expect questions for a normal adult to be exploded popcorn, the big kind.
Yes.
But
I
in
don't
this
understand why there
version,
has
it's
to be a-
babies, it's kids, and popcorn kernels are regular popcorn's babies.
Seth, when you're eating popcorn, you're not eating the kernels. They pop those open.
I just don't understand why in the KidCast how a popcorn analogy thematically works.
Because of movies.
Yeah, the kids love the movies.
KidCast is related to movies?
Yes. Thomas Middleditch is in it. He was
Yeah,
in
please.
that Road to Nardo movie.
Splinterheads or
That
whatever.
never came out.
Well, wait and see.
Hang on.
What? Let's reach into the bag and get somebody's crouched.
Reaching into the bag is asking the audience to
You
ask
have
a
to-
question?
It's getting a question
you
out of the
reach
bag.
into the bag to pull out the kernel, and
Yeah.
so it's so.
So you kids, I know this is my podcast too, but you kids are asking the audience to ask you a question that you then ask me, the daddy.
Yes, you're the daddy.
And the audience, the potential audience full of questions is a bag,
Yes.
and the questions are kernels of popcorn
Yeah.
because the kernel is small,
The baby,
like a child.
yeah,
The baby.
of the popcorn. Well, people heat up the kernels to pop them
That's what you eat
when you eat it.
at the movies. We reach into the bag. That's good. It
Much
sounds
smoother than normal.
Yes. Sounds very smooth.
Ooh, the little baby popcorn kernel. That's what it's at. So, who's got a question that is the little baby popcorn kernel for the daddy?
For daddy.
Anyone have
Questions
a question
about being a
for
daddy,
Seth Gemberling
or-
about being a daddy,
Or policeman.
a question that hopefully clarifies
Or movie
movies.
related.
Yes,
Or movies.
yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I see.
So big stars like you can do these podcasts just as a fun whim. But how does the beginner podcaster, can you talk about branding and getting your monetizing, getting your word out there?
Okay, so this one's confusing, Daddy. So big podcast stars like us can do the podcast just as a whim. But for people who aren't like that, how can you tell us about branding?
Well, sure. I mean, as a father and a former police officer, and a financial expert, I, for you want to, you want to upload it first of all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
mean-
after you record it.
No, you need the content. The content needs to be interesting, and then you need to record
He
it.
feels like he has some ground to make up in terms of like establishing his engineer bona fides, I think. And so-
Again, you got it backwards. You said content and then record. You press record and then the content. Then you press space. You stop the content and then you upload it.
You just upload it raw. You don't adjust the audio at all or trim the top and the bottom.
what are you a baby of in this, Brett?
Yeah, what baby version are you?
What baby version?
Yeah.
Well, for instance,
Your own
he's a
girlfriend?
baby
That's
version
weird.
of Thomas Middleditch. He's a baby version of Sean Clements.
I see.
Why did you say you want to be a baby version of your own girlfriend?
Yeah, that was strange. He doesn't talk into the
I
mic,
did
so
not say
That's crazy to
Yeah,
me.
that's
why did you
actually
Why did you
creepy.
cover up the mic to say that you that you desire to be? And why did you say desire?
oh yeah.
A
then
baby
you said
version
crave.
of your own girlfriend.
Yeah, baby version of your own girlfriend, who is very nice, by the way.
Yes.
If you're a baby version of your own girlfriend, does that mean you're then it's like a lesbian incest statutory rape scenario?
Wow, this feels like it would be more at home on Muddy Loves John.
Yeah.
Muddy and me.
But it's a very fair
Yes.
question.
I suppose you have a point. But again, I'm not the baby version yet. So none of that has happened yet.
But in the show you are.
Yeah.
Once I
Sorry,
become the baby version, I
Which you
suppose.
He
did.
wants
and
to
now it
retain
happened.
his engineer self long enough to refute everybody else, and then he'll transmogrify into the baby version of his own girlfriend.
Weird.
Bone-chilling stuff.
The thoughts that go on in the mind of an engineer.
Yeah. And why did you cover up the mic to say that this baby has fully developed breasts?
So strange, Brett. The whole point of a baby is they don't deal with that stuff yet.
That's the whole point of a baby.
That's how babies work.
Just wanted to transmogrify correctly.
Okay. Oh, I'm not even going to say what he just covered up the mic and said.
No, I think people should hear.
You really want people to hear that?
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Anyway, after you start uploading podcasts, maybe you make like a Facebook fan page or something. You just want to get the word out there.
Yeah. And we did a lot of performances on the train.
You performed podcasts.
Yeah. Go in the train car. Hi, we're the podcast.
A subway, like an LA subway train?
No, like a coastal rail. the one that goes up to Vancouver. Because it's longer. The mistake of the subway is after you promote your thing, they can just get out. But on the long train, they have to stay on the train.
Really get to engage them.
Yeah, for days.
So you don't even need to switch cars. You just pick one car.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Mumford and Sons?
I have.
Do you think they rock?
Our Podfest has music, too.
Yeah.
Mumford and Sons rocks for the length of one song the first time you hear
It's
it.
Mumford and Sons rock.
I'm sorry?
Mumford rocks. Mumford and Sons rock. It's just like an
No,
understanding
no.
of when to use plurals and stuff.
Mumford
It's
and
like,
Sons is a band.
are some bands. Anyway, so they rock. How? How good?
Well, as a daddy,
Yes.
I'm unfortunately not so up on the current music.
That's good.
That happens to dads. Yeah. You lose touch.
I mean, ask me about James Taylor or
Yeah.
Mamas and the Papas. And
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to do those ones because you said them already, so I feel like you've got a canned answer. But maybe I could think of something in that neighborhood, you know, that would be surprising, but that you would have a strong opinion on. Not Mumford and Sons and not James Taylor, but Steely Dan.
They're good. I like 'em.
Okay, now we're cooking.
What's that thing Brett said?
Oh yeah, what did Brett said?
No, but you
Oh.
were gonna say.
Oh, it was about because it was about being a baby version of his own girlfriend.
Yes, with fully developed breasts.
I won't say exactly what he said about the part, but the part was her Neneno, and he did mention it, and he did have some details that he wanted to be sure they were the same, and I just don't think that's nice to talk about.
Out of
on a
respect for
podcast.
his girlfriend, who's very nice.
Who's one of the nicest people I've met.
Yeah.
And out of respect for him, who I don't want to have to go to jail. Because frankly, hearing this made me think that I should have Seth Gemberling, former police officer, call some of his buddies from the force and get this guy locked up.
He defended bestiality, and you're telling him to get...
He just said, let's think about it, which I think is always fair.
Yeah. You
Bro,
covered
I
up the
didn't
mic
say
and said,
that.
we got to do this right now.
So,
What were you gonna say?
My worry is that as soon as we start pursuing legal action, he would just transform into his baby self, and
I'm immune at that point.
he would have to be tried as a minor.
As a baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah.
So that cleared up branding. I guess we'll take one more question from
more.
the popcorn gallery.
On the KidCast.
Ooh, no, I'm the brother of the little baby colonel from before.
And I was bully.
Okay, so I picked up two colonels by accident. One was
Yeah.
the brother of the baby colonel from
Oh,
before.
no.
And
Somebody's-
one was their school bully.
Somebody's bullying a baby.
And I think I have an idea
And
of who it might be,
it's-
Engineer Brett.
It's
So
a-
now remember, the kernels, which are the questions from the audience, are themselves
babies.
sentient.
Yes.
with personality.
That's
Yes.
what we found, yeah. So, who is going to be the question? Thank you.
I recently got a job in the industry making movie, and I did not realize getting into this position that movie is made on computer now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
But it was people in camera.
okay, and then do you want to shape that like a question?
Do you know about making movies on computer rather than people in camera?
Okay, so this guy's bragging, he's trying to show off, and he kind of looks like Ponce de Leon. So
Could be Ponce if
yes,
he found the if he
if
found
he is
that
Ponce, then it
font
would,
of
it would
youth.
add up. Yeah. So he wants everybody to know he's got a job in movies, and he thinks that's going to impress us. In fact, we really are able to do that up here ourselves.
It does make sense that in a show where so many of us have suddenly become babies of ourselves, that Ponce de Leon would be here.
Yes. The original become a baby guy.
Yes.
Now,
Yes, because I've noticed
The first
that there is
numero uno.
yes, that there is water on this table that he's been looking at in sort of an unusual way, as if he put it there to be drank and have babies turned
You're
into.
saying that Ponce de Leon suspects that all water may be from the fountain of youth.
or he filled these bottles. I mean, yeah, he could have done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that
Ponce de Leon works at a
Sofitel?
Perrier bottling plant.
yeah, or I think he may have just carried some fountain of youth water in here in his mouth and deposited it into our bottles.
Spit it in there.
Yeah,
Oh, and that's how you became
these babies.
Baby
version.
Thomas Middleditch, yeah. So what he wants to know from you, Daddy, is do you know about how movies are on computers?
Yeah, I mean, I know that some movies are made on computers. I know they still use people to voice them a lot of the time.
Computers? They use
Sorry.
people to voice computers?
Let me clarify. People voice the characters in the movie that have been rendered on computers.
So you're talking about the guy who voiced the brave little toaster. You thought that toaster was a computer.
The brave little computer.
I didn't think that
Because
I
it
was
was
confused.
because it was square?
Computers.
And I just
Honestly,
hate
I-
when I'm listening to a live podcast, there's a big laugh, and I don't know, what are they laughing at?
Yeah.
And John just did a funny face.
I honestly don't know what I'm confused about anymore. I feel like I've been doing KidCast for so long now that I
Yeah, time does move slower in the KidCast universe. Yeah.
And so that was KidCast. So thanks, everyone,
that was
for coming out.
Yes, Brett, you're supposed to be playing the goodbye song.
Brett, and play the goodbye song, and you know how
is this
that
the
one
end
goes.
of this actual show?
I think so.
So the majority of this show was KidCast?
Well, we don't know about KidCast in this world.
You don't?
It just
No.
passed by instantaneously. There was a seamless break between, well, let's see what that sounded like, and that was KidCast.
I thought
And
in
please-
the over-reality you were aware of the sub-reality.
No idea. So please do pre-order your tickets to WolfCool Fest.
Yes.
There is a KidCast show there. We don't know about it.
Yes.
You'll also hear Muddy,
Muddy and me.
Muddy
and
and
me.
Seth Gemberling, Startup School.
And probably 6 or 7 other shows.
Yes.
Oh, the Outdoor Us or Indoor Us.
Yes.
And then, and also, be kind to each other. Don't be cynical. Remember Conan told us that?
Bye.
Bye.